Hello and welcome to WTF, where we help you transform food in your kitchen. I'm Janie.
I'm Roman.
And on this channel, we talk about unique ingredients, techniques, and show you new recipes for your kitchen. And today we are showing you a new recipe on how do you make a delicious seafood mousse, but we're going to show you how to spin it in both the Pacojet as well as our Ninja Creami and compare how they came out against each other, which is always fun because we like stretching out what the Ninja Creami can do.
And I love a good fight, so.
All right, Roman, tell us about the mousse. Tell us about the seafood mousse and your inspiration behind it and what goes into it.
Seafood mousse. So I started doing this at the restaurant years ago. Love seafood, love a good mousse, and the texture of a mousse is what I really like the most. Super light, very airy, and I always thought matching that with seafood would be great. And so I developed this this recipe for a seafood mousse, which contains shrimp and scallop, two of my favorite seafoods, by the way.
Mine too.
Also, so let's get into it. Let's get into it because this is really cool. And like I said, I do like a good fight. So I can't wait to see how these two go up against each other.
Yeah, and I see we already have the sous vide going.
Oh, yeah.
Can you tell us what's in the sous vide bag?
So in the sous vide bag, I just have some peeled in the vein shrimp and some detab scallops. So we're gonna cook it for 35 minutes at 60 degrees Celsius or 145 degrees Fahrenheit.
All right, and we wanted to get this going because as the sous vide is going, we're gonna make the sauce, or Roman's gonna make the sauce. So let's go into what goes into this sauce.
All right, so we have our ingredients right here. We're gonna turn this puppy on, and we're gonna turn it to about a medium-high heat. And then we're gonna start out by putting in our vegetable oil. Let that get up to temperature. And then we're gonna get our shallots in here. Let me get my little spatula. We get our shallots in there.
You call it spatula?
I call it spatula. I don't know why. It's something I just
started. People are
started.
gonna come for you. They're gonna get spatula. Spatula.
Wait till we see the comments. Okay, that's fine though. I call it spatula. It works the same way as spatula. All right, so we got our shallots in here, and then I got ginger. That's grated ginger, and that's going to go in there also. And then we're just going to let that sweat out a little bit. I'm going to sweat this for about 2 to 3 minutes. You just want to soften it up and get the aromatics going.
I can already smell the
that,
aromatics.
Right? It's great.
I know. I mean, shallots is good with everything.
Exactly. And then. So we'll just let that go for about 2 or 3 minutes, and then I'm going to add my garlic. You don't want to add your garlic too early because, as you know, garlic burns pretty quickly. And so you want to definitely make sure you get some of these vegetables, they are vegetables, soft before you add your garlic in so you don't get like that burnt garlic, which I hate so much. It ruins everything. And you also don't want to brown these too much because we're trying to keep this thing as light as possible and make sure that the color stays like pretty light. All right, so I'm going to add my garlic in now, and we'll just incorporate that. And like I said, we're just basically trying to sweat this out, extract some of those flavors.
Now, of course, we're going to use our Pacojet and our Creami today, which has micro-puree technology, which basically means that it's finely shaving whatever is inside the beaker, right? In the simplest of terms. How did you make the mousse before you had a Pacojet?
So I used to make this mousse in a blender, and so what I would do is I would do it exactly as I was doing it now, but then I would put it into our Vitamix blender, and I would blend the total crap out of it, and then I would pass it, and then I would freeze it. This is a lot different. The texture is incredible with the Pacojet. As you know, the machine is like incredible. It will microscopically shave it, and you can't even taste that there's any bits or anything in it. The first time I used a Pacojet, I was just like so amazed. And of course, I've always made ice cream with it, so starting to get into these savory applications like just changed me as a chef. It allowed me to advance and come up with these great dishes. All right, so now that we have this sweated out, I'm gonna go ahead and add my lemon juice and just incorporate that a little bit. You smell that?
Oh yeah.
It's awesome.
It smells great in here already.
Yeah, this is beautiful. And then you're just incorporating this, and then I will go right into my heavy cream. Just make sure to get all that out of there. All right, and then we'll just mix that up. Now you're not really trying to cook this any more than just melding the flavors together.
Okay.
Because all the work is going to be done in the Pacojet. So you're just making sure that you get all your ingredients together, you get it melded, salt, and then you cool it down.
Now, one of the things that we're doing here is because we're very fortunate, we have all these different toys in the kitchen.
Yeah.
We're sous videing, we are pacotizing, Ninja Creaming, and everything else. If somebody doesn't have a sous vide at home, can they still somehow cook up the shrimp and scallop and do the other steps if they happen to have a creamy?
Yes. So some days in the kitchen, we wouldn't be able to sous vide because we'd have something else going in it. So what I would do is I would either steam or slowly poach the vegetable.
Okay.
Excuse me, the seafood. But what you want to make sure is, as pertaining to the recipe, that you always have about 200. Because what we're going to do is we got 200 grams of shrimp and 200 grams of scallop. But we're also going to save the juice of this because it's going to excrete a lot of liquid. When we blend this, to put into the Paco containers, we're going to also use the liquid.
Okay.
So you definitely want to keep that liquid. So if you're going to cook it non-sous vide, after you cook the seafood, you want to make sure that it equates to the 400 grams total. So that's very important.
Okay, so you still want to retain some of the extra water.
Exactly.
To equal it out.
So you add your water. Obviously, adding the liquid from the sous vide is going to be more flavorful. And there's just really no way around it. But you can add stock. You could add, if you have some fish stock maybe on hand. Not everyone does, but if you do, or you have chicken stock or whatever stock you want to use, you could add that and that'll give you more flavor.
Yep. You can also make a quick stock from the shrimp shells as well.
Exactly. It really helps to have the sous vide. In these cases, these cool gadgets do a lot more than just what they seem to do. All right, so I have my ice. I'm going to just get my liquid hidden ice to cool it down. I believe that my sous vide shrimp and scallops are just about ready to come out too, and we'll also chill those down. And then when both these things come down in temperature, we will go to the blending process where we'll blend them together. We'll add our olive oil to emulsify everything, and then we'll get it into our Paco and Creamini containers, and we'll blast them.
Okay, we'll be right back.
Be back.
All right, and we are just about ready to continue making the seafood mousse. But first, I want to remind you to please subscribe, ring the bell, and hit the notification button, and of course leave some comments because that is what we need in order for the algorithm to show our content to more people such as yourselves who enjoy having new and different recipes and fun things to do in the kitchen.
Yep.
All right, now this looks great. What do we do next, Roman?
All right, so we are going to blend our seafood and the sauce we just previously made. And let's go. Why don't we just get started doing
Let's
this?
do it.
All right, so I'm going to cut this guy.
All right. Oh yeah, I'm on catching this duty,
so
let me not mess this up. You already said how important the juice is.
It's like the most important part. You
Here
definitely want to keep that liquid in there you want. A lot of times when you sous vide, you discard the liquid or use it for sauce or whatever. But in this recipe, we actually keep the liquid because it's very important. There's a lot of flavor in there and we don't want to lose it. Pretty simple. All right, so we're going to put our seafood with liquid. All right. And then we're going to take our chilled sauce and we're going to add that, incorporate that into there. I mean, the smell of the seafood and then the aromatics, it's...
You know what it smells like? It
delicious.
smells like clam chowder almost.
Yes, it kind of does, actually. I do get that. All right. And so we're going to go, let's get the top on it before we have seafood all over the place. All right. Look at that. Fastened. And then we're just going to start off really low because you just kind of want to slowly incorporate this. And you don't want to go too quick or it'll jump right out of there. So start really slow. Speed it up a little bit. And right about now, we're going to add in our olive oil. And that's about it. Now we're ready to go into our Paco and Creami containers. And, oh, this smells great.
Oh yeah, it smells like a lot like a chowder.
It does.
It's super
It
good.
really does.
Yeah. So normally we would put this in the beakers and let it freeze overnight, and then we can spill it. Well, we got some that we're going to spin for you
We're
right
going
now.
to spin it right now.
As you can see now, we have our beautifully spun mousses.
Yep.
But before we even get to the tasting, Can you talk, Roman, a little bit about kind of like what settings you spun this on and what you notice about the differences or similarities between spinning in the Creami and the Ninja?
Yeah.
And the Pacojet.
Well,
I'm losing track.
Well, one of the big things, as you can see right away, is how smooth that is. And this is like a little wonky, a little chunky. That's because the Pacojet has all these different features in it. So what we did is we spun it 4 times, so 4 times through, and then we added aeration also, which is a big deal, and that's where the differences lie.
Yeah, because you cannot aerate in the Creami.
Exactly.
Yeah.
But I'm gonna guess that they taste pretty much the same.
Let's do it.
And pretty smooth texture.
I'm gonna let you chefy plate this.
All right, so
I
I'm
don't know
gonna
how to do that.
let's see that. Let's get in here. Yeah, give it a little one of these and do one of those nice little quenelle. Ooh.
Looks like ice cream.
Ah,
Smells like chowder.
I still got it. Now this is, I want to see how this comes out because this is a little wonky.
It's definitely thicker. You're
It's
working
definitely
harder.
thicker, yep, for sure. And I'm gonna put this on right there. You see the difference, a little smaller. And you can tell, you see the color? That's how you know like how much air is in that, because it expanded so much that it's lighter in color. And that's why that one's lighter.
I've got a little cracker. So typically, you know, you want to serve it with some crackers and
Definitely, for sure.
some yummy
All right.
bits.
I'm gonna go right. You know what? I'm gonna start out with the Ninja.
I will too, because I don't want to
Ninja.
like be all biased.
Yeah.
You know, so I want to kind of see how it tastes.
I mean, it goes on pretty smooth, to be honest with you. That has great flavor.
It tastes really nice. So buttery.
It's really smooth. I mean, honestly, if I didn't know that didn't come out of Ninja, I would have said that was pacotized. You know, just texturally.
Yeah, it definitely, no chunks, no bits, very, very smooth.
Very smooth. That is different level smooth, though.
I accidentally took 2 chunks of the creamy one. I was like, whoops. All right, take 3.
I think it's a huge difference. The air in that, the flavor's still the same, but the texture is, and I wouldn't say I wouldn't say the texture is so much better than the Ninja, but it is, you can tell. You can tell there's a difference. It's just not, for me, it's not, you know, that big of a difference. If I had that one, you know, I'd be happy with it too. But
Yeah, the closest analogy I can make is, you know how sometimes you eat like chocolate mousses in restaurants, and sometimes you get like this very dense mousse, and sometimes you get a very, very airy mousse. This is kind of how I feel about this. Like they're both good. They're both tasty, but one is like just a little bit more, one is more like buttery, more solid.
Yeah.
And then the Pacojet one is like, it's almost like whipped cream consistency.
Kind of.
A little bit heavier,
Yeah.
but you know, there's a huge difference. For me, in between the experience eating them back to back. If you're just like, I am only making one, you'll be happy with both.
Yeah.
So, but this is super good. You can get the recipe in the links in the description below. It's seafoody. It's like got that briny, fresh ocean
It tastes oceany.
flavor.
It's very light.
I love that it's cold. It's fantastic.
Yeah. It kind of tricks your palate a little bit. Like, you know, you eat it as cold, you like ice cream, but not when you get that seafoody flavor.
Yeah.
It's really good. I do.
We're
really
gonna be
like that.
eating this summer again.
Yes, we are.
Okay, well, enjoy today's episode and get the recipes, and let us know if you have any comments or questions about Pacojet, about Ninja Creami, Sous Vide, anything. Leave it in the comments below. And until next week, from here to Modernist Pantry Test Kitchen, I'm Janie.
And I'm Roman. My
Your
spatula.
spatula.
I swear to God, when I started calling this a spatula in the restaurant, everyone else called it a spatula. Everyone.
It does sound better than spatula.
It does.
Right?
It really
It
does.
sounds pretty, like spatula.
Yeah.